Welcome in, guys, to my NFL Week 10 picks. We're 10 weeks in the NFL. Last week I was pretty good on. I did good on the spread last week. I was 8-2. I got 8 of the predictions, 8 of the games right. Only got 2 games wrong, so I did better than I have done the last few weeks, or the last 2 weeks ago. 8-2. I was on the spread last week for Week 9. We started off with the Falcons versus the Panthers last night's game. I start off with I'm 0-1 now. Again, I predicted the Falcons to go over on Thursday night. It was -2.5. Panthers were -2.5 as well, and the Panthers won. They won last night, so yeah, I'm already 0-1 so far for the week. And we start for the early games. It's an early, but this time it's in Germany. We're having the first ever Germany game in the NFL. It's going to be Tom Brady and the Buccaneers versus Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to go for the Seahawks plus the 3.5. The Bucs again this year. The Bucs again. It shows how much Tom Brady father time has caught up with him. I'm going to say this is going to be his last season in the NFL. But Geno Smith and the Seahawks, like, this is Pete Carroll, who I was criticizing in the offseason, saying that he should be leaving Seattle and do a true rebuild because he lost Bobby Wagner, he lost Russell Wilson, but again, you've got Geno Smith. Like, this Geno Smith, okay, he's never going to be a starting quarterback for a championship-winning team, but you look at this here, and he's got the Seattle Seahawks in the AFC, the top of the AFC West. He's just doing some great stuff this year. I'm going to go for the Seahawks plus the 3. Then we have the Vikings versus the Bills. The Vikings last week had an impressive win. The Bills had a shocking loss to the Jets last week. But I'm going to say the Bills will hopefully bounce back. I'm going to say the Bills -3.5. The Lions versus the Bears, NFC North game. Bears football. Well, you look at this game and you look at these two teams. Both of them are a dumpster fire. Both of them are, they have, it's just toxic. That they're toxic from the front office and stuff like that. But you look at the Lions and the Bears, and you compare to both head coaches. You have Dan Campbell taking kneecaps. You have Matt Eberflus with his alleged defense, but they ended to keep falling behind. So how much of a defensive guy is he? Who knows? But who is the better coach out of both of them? I'm going to be slightly biased here, but I'm going to say Dan Campbell's the better coach than Matt Eberflus. What I've seen from him so far is his teams fall behind a lot, and again, some of these play calls are absolutely gets his fault, but some of them are his as well. He's got to take responsibility for some of these play calls, and if the Bears can play like they did against Miami, even though they lost in the feet, and you got Justin Fields going at the pockets, and he's stretching those defenses instead of what they usually run the ball, and they're like, oh, let's do 3rd down and 12. We're going to do a halfback dime, and then we're going to do a field goal. Let's not stretch the defense and actually try to get a touchdown. Let's do a field goal, and we're going to run the ball and be very predictable. Instead of like, oh, well, let's pass. Let's do the pockets. Let's expose the defense. Like, do something different in your offense, so then you're not so predictable overall. I do like the addition of Chase Claypool. I think in that game he had against the Dolphins last week, it was really good for Justin Fields. But I'm going to say here, the Bears -3, Jags versus the Chiefs. I'm going to say the Chiefs -9.5. We have the Browns versus the Dolphins. Dolphins had an impressive win against the Bears last week. I'm going to go for the Dolphins here -3.5. Even though the Browns had a bye week last week. But I'm going to say the Dolphins -3.5. Texans versus the Giants. I'm going to say the Giants are going to get the win here, -6.5. The Saints versus the Steelers. I'll go for I'll go for the Saints -2.5. The Broncos versus the Titans. I'm going to go for the Titans -2. Going on to the late Sunday games, we've got the Raiders versus the Colts. The Colts, without Frank Reich, he got fired, and I did a video about that a couple of days ago. So if you haven't seen that, I will probably link it in the description box. If I haven't, then just go back on the channel and watch it. We've got the Raiders versus the Colts. The Raiders are -6. The Colts are +6 on the spread. I've got the Raiders -6. The Cowboys versus the Packers. I'm going to go Cowboys for the win, but I'm going to have the the Cowboys for the win, and then the Packers to cover the spread, the 4.5 spread. So Packers for the win. No, Cowboys for the win. Packers to cover the 4.5 spread. In that game. Then we had the Cardinals versus the Rams. Even though the Cardinals and Rams both are mid this year, seeing what they both was last year, like Cardinals was 7-0 this time last year. The Rams will getting the shit together for the Super Bowl, and then look at them this year. I'm gonna still say the Rams minus the 1.5. Chargers versus the 49ers. I'm gonna go 49ers minus the 7. And then the Monday night game, we have the Commanders versus the Eagles. Carson Wentz returns to Philadelphia for the first time since 2017, and I'm going to say the Eagles minus the 11, and that is my NFL picks for this week. Leave you guys picks in the comments, and I'll see you later.